Okay, we're gonna try this again.
I'm Mary.
And I'm Alex. Today we are taking this problem straight into your daily life. You look at all the people who are placed under the possibility of the death penalty.
You have to think of the situation that they're put under.
We are changing that.
And let me break it down for you this way. The reason that I say that is, in my mind, it's a question of what is gained versus what is lost or potentially lost, right?
In the very least, we are not complying to the fact that the government is using this so-called bad behavior. Disclosing all of the information that the public is unaware of.
Ready? Welcome back. Thanks for joining us today.
Instead of bringing it back to your daily life, we are going to be talking about the impacts that it places.
Such as the underlying motives that are being also clear now that the restrictions are becoming looser on the death penalty.
Far severe punishments are being compiled into more likely situations of action.
Meaning that if you go on trial today, your chances of being brought to the attention of the death penalty rest higher than ever. The death penalty is used to deter killers, but it models the very behavior it seeks to prevent. It teaches a lesson that it is acceptable to kill as long as the state is doing the one killing. Hence the term capital punishment. The death penalty answers violence with violence.
Thus proving that over time the restrictions become too cut, and then that leads to this conflict of motives that is left.
How are we supposed to say that killing is horrible if that's exactly what we're doing to compensate for this bad behavior?
In the very least, we are not complying to the fact that the government is using this so-called bad behavior.
We went to the public to see what they had to say for this eye for an eye method.
Probably a world thief because they're dead, probably because they killed one of your family members.
Although when we look at the style the government is using as an eye for an eye method, their tactics seem to blemish it further.
Many of those who try and fight for their freedoms, instead of expecting the death penalty, are not left with the right resources to have anyone actually look at their side.
When the evidence is pointing towards you, where are they really going to look?
Without benefits, Graves, Adams, Cook, Willis, all of whom are innocent men, would likely be put to death, and needless to say, the vast majority will never be so lucky as to have a high-priced lawyer on their behalf.
When you look at all the people who are placed under the possibility of the death penalty,
you have to think of the situation that they are put under. They would not have a very strong case, meaning that they are at a disadvantage to free themselves from this punishment if they are innocent.
The restrictions placed need to be reapplied.
Or at least given some defenses to those facing this punishment, or it just becomes another reason for this penalty to become unjust.
We took some time to figure out if others felt as unjust with this situation as we did.
Most people accused of capital crimes do not have the financial resources to hire and pay highly qualified criminal defense lawyers whose practice deals primarily with capital crimes. A great deal of injustice arises when poorly qualified, inexperienced lawyers is appointed to represent a poor person at trial.
How we choose to handle this problem holds all the more reason to why the citizens need to become aware and involved.
By letting the problem simmer, we are creating looser ropes on the restrictions of the death penalty.
The defendant must make its case.
But they cannot do that if they are unable to legally present a reasonable case.
We find that many share the same solution to this problem. Shouldn't the ultimate punishment be cased with the ultimate surety the defendant is guilty?
I agree. Grace's was filed by Charles Sebesta, the district attorney in Burleson County at the time of his arrest. State law directs DA not to convict, but to see that justice is done. But early on, Sebesta and his investigators working on the case a theory that Carter could not have committed the crime alone, and they settled on Graves.
How we choose to define each defendant on their presence at a scene results in laziness from the court.
We can reap no true benefits from this punishment if it is taken lightly.
It is the death penalty. We cannot play it safe or jump to conclusions.
The court must take the measures necessary to conclude the truth.
Once a guilty verdict is rendered, our justice system is unconcerned with the facts of the case. In other words, after a jury decides that a defendant is guilty, that's it. We are no longer concerned with whether the evidence in the case indicates the guilt of that person.
The death penalty is used to deter killers, but it models the very behavior it seeks to prevent. I swear to God. to return this power. I said that, man.
You sounded like my cousin.
Yay! You sounded like that Jello game, you know, where every time you reached the next level, yay! Graces was failed by Charles Sebastia. I so thought I was gonna mess it up, but it was so good. We didn't even plan it, we just both did it.
I guess I'm a 2-year-old now. Mission is we did.
Can you restate that line? I don't know why I did that.
Oh, yeah, okay. I have to restart because you messed it up. Okay, I get it.
Can I restart? Hold on. Get my mind. You know everything's alright.
I was only walking through your neighborhood, saw you light on honey in the cold. I stood anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. I've been getting used to waking up with you. I've been getting used to waking up here. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. There you are.